And welcome, everybody. It is time to crown a PBA Senior U.S. Open champion here in Greeley, Colorado at Highland Park Lanes on BowlTV. I'm Dave Lamont, joined by Tom Carter, Craig Elliott, and on controls, Brian Kane. Well, Tom, we have a star-studded, once again, U.S. Open final here in Greeley, and a couple of guys who know the building especially well, including our defending champion, John Janowitz.
The field is brutal for this show. Everybody's got titles except for the guy that's leading, which is amazing. It's going to be tough. You got Brad Angelo, who just won a couple weeks ago against John Janowitz, who we see every week on the show, and then Andrew Gomez, who came basically out of nowhere to make it to the stepladder, which I thought was incredible. And now we have the ultimate Hall of Famer, Pete Weber, in second, and then Brian Dennis, our tournament leader. Brian beat Pete Weber in the last game to take the lead. So I think it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out show.
Yeah, oddly enough, that was by far Pete's worst game of the tournament, a 144 to lose the number one position. But you know what, Craig, the number one position, so what?
Yeah, out of Pete's wins, U.S. Opens, he was never the number one seed. But part of the reason I think he fell back that game, and we talked to him earlier, he's got a pretty messed up finger. You know, he quit wearing the glove here a year ago. Now he's got a cut right on that big finger, right on the crease.
And that thing is massive.
Yeah, and it's deep.
And he was telling me earlier that he has to try to position his finger in the ball just right so he can make a shot. Otherwise, it's pretty painful when he tries to release the ball.
Yeah,
so keep an eye on that for sure. But again, he's going to have a test. He did fall back to the 2 seed, but he's never won for the 1 seed anyway, so I think he's okay with that.
Yeah, he would be looking for his 8th U.S. Open title between the PBA and the PBA50
how many?
tours.
How many?
8?
If he gets it tonight.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It is. It is. So our opening match will be John Janowitz against Brad Angelo. John will have lane choice. They're just finishing up practice right now. If they have started, they haven't told us. So John getting in a couple of the last shots on a 19-20 pair. What are your recollections of 19-20, Tom?
That's a fairly high-scoring pair. The lanes 1 through 18 have been used a lot in this center, and so the friction is a lot different. 19 and 20 is kind of like the magic pair. I think it's going to be a high-scoring pair. It's
been, and today we had talked this morning, Craig, and I mentioned the conversation we had on the air, and I didn't think the afternoon session was quite as ugly as we thought it was going to be.
We thought it was going to be brutal. The ball refs were all talking. We thought this afternoon the scores were just going to be horrendous after the lanes had set for 2 hours and flattened out even more. But they weren't you're right, they weren't as bad as we thought they were going to be. They were actually pretty good.
Well, one of the other things that's kind of a key thing to keep an eye on here as John Janowitz begins to defend his title is his spare shooting is a little bit off right now.
I think the right word is atrocious, and he will agree with that. He missed 4 single pins all last season. We watched him miss 3 10-pins this week. Unbelievable.
So will the match come down to that?
It could, very easily.
We're ready to go. And Brad leaving the 6-pin. We are absolutely going to be using our inside voices as
we are sitting extremely close to the guys on the lanes.
So you may have to turn up the volume a little bit in order to be for us to be coming through because we are really close. Hopefully all of our cell phones are muted.
Good crowd here for the U.S. Open here in Greeley.
Yeah, a lot of, they had a good representation in the top 24 of local bowlers, too.
Right.
I think we had 2 or 3, Martinez, Ricky Schisler from Colorado.
Ricky bowls league here, and I'm pretty sure Martinez does too.
Oh, yeah. And many other bowlers from Colorado who came to support this tournament.
A nice crowd tonight as well. They're packing them in around us.
Actually, I'm sitting almost right in the bleachers.
Yeah, they're going to charge you for that ticket. There,
oh,
Tom.
no. And a 2-8-10 for Janowitz.
How many of those have you seen this week? A boatload. There's an out of bounds on this pattern. If you swing the ball too far, some of the guys with a mega hand for us, the seniors, can get it back, like Tom Doherty being one of them. But if you get that ball to the right pretty quick, and I'm sure the guys really tried to burn that spot up so they get a little more bounce, but it's brutal if you get it right.
Took a run at it and left 2 on the deck, so an early opportunity for Brad Angelo with Janowitz in a hole here.
And after 2.5 years, we still have no idea what Janowitz's facial expressions. I mean, he's just staring at the ball rack. Which one of you am I going to take some?
Well, him and John Rakowski, I think you could put in a bottle shake-up. You wouldn't know if they're striking or missing.
I think JJ has a little more expression. He usually, if you watch him closely, he'll come back. He'll be talking to himself after every shot, good or bad.
Oh,
different ball.
Ball change.
Oh, a late tapper on the 6.
We didn't get to see if he ran outside real quick to his van and get another ball.
No, by the 6, I should say.
He was staring at that collection on the rack, and he picked the right one there. Look at this 10-pin go late. 6-pin doing some work.
So the question is now, we'll have to watch when he comes back. Is that going to be the ball, or is he going to use a 2-ball strategy on 2 different lanes? It's going to be very interesting to see.
A lot of the guys use 2 different balls on the pairs. The left lane hooked a lot. I mean, it's literally, I talked to Zach, one of the proprietors here, and he goes, the left lane's probably 3 or 4 more all the time in this building than the right lane.
And another single pin for Brad. And the proprietor here, by the way, Zach Endress, if you've been watching the tournament with us, was our guest a couple of times. And boy, he and his staff here are fantastic about keeping this place running smoothly.
And spotless.
It really is. I've said the same thing a couple days ago. Like, I look around and I go, this place is, and one of the reasons is he'll help clean it up.
When I walked in, when we got here the first day, you know, a lot of times you don't see this, but as a proprietor, he was out there with a mopping the gutters and making sure they were clean.
Yeah. Well, one of the things, and some people told me this this is our 3rd year in a row here having this tournament here, is that, you know, it's a bowling center run by bowlers. And that's what makes the difference. Don't get him in trouble, Tom. Don't get him in trouble.
I just wanted to see his finger one more time.
Yeah. You get the fine. And
a late 5-pin.
Paralyzed the 5, and down it goes.
Guess the ball doesn't have to hit the 5 for it to go.
The kickbacks here are unbelievably lively. Things fly all over the place in this place.
For the first time in my career, Tom, I started to see a 6-10 get taken up by messengers. Not just a 10-pin.
The 6-10?
Several times. It wasn't uncommon to see 6-10s. We had some bizarro, I think Rakowski had one today, a 1-2-4, and then the 4 gets knocked, then the 2 gets knocked, then the 1 gets knocked, and it's a strike.
I think his kickbacks are full of cement because pins bounce off of those things unbelievably.
That looks like
a split. That's what that looks like.
I was about to say, it looks like the same ball he struck with on the left-hand lane, but no, the right-hand lane is something he's got to figure out right now.
Well, Tom, I'm not sure if you caught it, but we saw one of the oddest leads I've ever seen today.
Oh, yes.
See Doherty's 7-9-10.
I did see that.
What in the world was that?
Well, did you see the angle he was playing?
Well, yeah, it was 90 degrees.
Yeah, well, the ball was 20 feet in the air and down the lane.
So a tough start for John Janowitz with a couple of open frames on that right-hand lane. At first a 2-8-10 and then a big 4.
Just from my angle when he threw that, it just looked a lot slower than normal JJ. But that's what I think some of the guys had to slow their speed down to get the ball to make its shape to go through the pins, because you could hit the pocket a lot and leave a lot of corners. But you needed to get the ball to shape.
That'll be coming later. And there's an example of some of the life we have here.
And it didn't take a lot, I guess pressure might be the word, for a pin coming over to knock down a pin. I mean, sometimes the pin barely got over there and hit it, and it would fall.
Are you going to tell us you even had messengers this week?
I did. But
we saw one.
Did you see one?
We saw one.
Oh, well, I might have only had one, but at least you've seen it.
And Brad liked that one all the way and had every reason to like it, but yet.
He switched to that ball the last 6 games of match play, and he hadn't even brought it out. And it did the trick for him. I asked him, I said, you got any special layout? And he goes, Tom, every ball I got's drilled the same. You know I don't do layouts. I went, okay.
So it's another day, another stepladder final for Brad Angelo. He won at the Villages. He was on the stepladder in Fort Myers, as I remember. And here he is again. He is.
Well, we talked about this a lot. He's made a lot of shows, and he finally, at the Villages, got that extra win. It had been a while since he had won.
It had been a couple of years.
Yeah. In this building, when this was the first time the PBA50 Tour came here, was 2022. It was not a major. He finished 6th. But the last 2 years, he has made the U.S. Open show. And, of course, this will now be 3 in a row for Angelo.
So Brad playing a much tighter line. I mean, he's playing like 11-12 out to 5-6. And you see Janowitz playing like 17-8.
Throwing a little faster, too?
He is. A little more direct. And I'm sure you guys seen it, but Barnes did it, and a couple of the guys did it. In the last 2 games of match play, they moved to the gutter. Everybody else is playing deep, and they moved right to try to use that oil that nobody had used all day long.
That's a kick save and a beauty on the 10-pin there for John.
Bad news for Janowitz. Strike here on lane 19. He's still going to be down 15 pins.
Well, just getting something on the right lane was huge for him because that lane had tortured him the first 2 times around.
Yeah, split, excuse me, split strike, split's not really the way you want to start a match.
Especially when you're fighting for a title, fighting to defend your title. And it doesn't happen that often that a guy will get that opportunity to at least get on the show to defend the title. That's got to go. It did, and he got hosed with a ringing 10.
Well, and this has been JJ's biggest dry spell since the first year. Remember, he bookended wins the first season, his rookie year, won the first tournament, last tournament. Last year, he won 5 events.
It seemed like every event last year.
We're in tournament 5, and he has not won yet. So, you know, he wants to defend that title and get another W here.
Now, he's made shows, but...
Speaking of 10 pins, that was headed towards the gutter.
His execution on that has not been as crisp as I'm sure he would be the first to tell you.
Strike, go up 26.
Got it.
Yep.
A pure shot for Brad Angelo.
You could have heard a pin drop in here on that shot.
I heard 10.
Yeah, 10. You're scared to say anything because we're so close.
I heard your bionic knee.
Yeah, it popped.
So earlier this year, Brad got in the championship match against John Rakowski in Fort Myers and was defeated by John. But that's okay because right after that, Brad went to the Villages and picked up the win. Janowitz finished 5th in Fort Myers. Three in a row.
Oh, solid. 8-pin. Not that we see the same guys on the show here every week.
Oh,
but
no, we do.
It seems like we see the same guys.
Well, he's the leader in the same guy, it seems like to me. He is a regular. He defeated Tom Adcock in the final. Parker Bone the third, Francisco Peralta, and Jason Couch the rest of that show.
Jason Couch is one of the guys we didn't see this week.
No,
the Masters either.
Parker also. Parker had some family things going on.
Yeah, Jason, his wife, booked a vacation cruise, I think.
Right. That's right.
I think he was like, don't you know that the Masters and the U.S. Open's going on?
Well, he knew. She didn't.
Yeah, guess who won? And John, who was the runaway dominant player at the qualifying at the Bud Moore PBA50 Players Championship this year, ended up being the runner-up to Tom Hess, who ran the ladder for that one. Michael Hogan Jr., Pete Weber, and Dino Castillo filled out the rest of that. So it's John's third show of the season.
Well, Pete's second. Pete's having a pretty good year this year. He's
throwing it well. And I'll share. We'll save for later. But some interesting comments in jest by a couple of players about Pete's unique way of doing things on the lanes. That's really got to go, and he often gets that strike.
Yeah, but the recovery on the left lane 19, he gets it to the spot, but it's not peeling off the spot like it is on the right lane. The right lane tends to have a little bit more friction, it looks like, and the left lane looks like it's hooking a little earlier, and the ball could be losing a little bit of energy by the time it gets to that break point. Well, there's something you don't see every day. He bounced Deadwood out into lane 18.
Yeah, you know, those workouts are obviously paying off. Take a look. That's pretty crazy.
Oh, Zach, take an easy way out.
This is a friendly crowd.
Oh, that rack's going to be a pin short. Got to put one back in there.
Why don't you go down there and take care of that?
It might take a while for the next rack to set. Speaking of out of bounds.
Found it.
If
a
you
washout.
Get too far out. And there's not that many one-to-one loads on this, but there are a few.
Like
it's
he missed
41
that one,
feet.
too. Didn't quite hit that one as good either, did he?
Yeah. Well, if he missed it, he definitely missed it to the right. We're at an angle, unfortunately, that I can't see straight behind him off of his hand. They're almost like a pair to the right of us where we're sitting.
All right, so a pretty critical moment here for Brad. His first bad shot of the night. Nope,
that was kind of, I think, uncharacteristic of Brad. I'm surprised he didn't use a spare ball and fire it to the left side.
Straight at it.
It's kind of odd to see him try to hook at it.
Well, still has the lead, though. 213 Brad's max score, 203 the max for John Janowitz. So maybe he just want to make sure he got count. He knew he was ahead in the game.
Yeah, but I think he would have gotten the same 3 pins if he had gone for it, no?
Well, pretty much.
You hope so.
Yeah, you'd hope so. And I've seen guys just chop the head pin off going at it the other way.
Also true.
That was dead over 10, out to like 5.
Oh, is he lucky? Oh, is he lucky?
I was looking at Brad. You seen that on the monitor because I didn't even see the pin fall down.
Well, the 2-pin was enough of a break. But somehow we weren't even looking at that back messenger. Yeah, the back messenger we weren't paying attention to.
It doesn't take a lot of speed for a messenger to knock down a pin.
That right there could have completely altered this match and maybe the entire night.
Well, that brought the tie in place if he didn't strike on that shot.
Like that. Let's say he doesn't make the 210 and then Janowitz goes on to win. Now, what if Brad wins the tournament?
John's going to have to make some kind of adjustment on this left lane because he's going to have to make Brad show up.
Well, he can make Brad double still, right?
But you watch that ball on the right lane like it peels off of there and comes high flush into the pocket. He hasn't had that success on the left lane.
He'll be finishing on the right, but how much will it matter? The 9th frame, a big one for. I'm sorry, he's finishing on the left. Excuse me. No, I for some reason kept looking at that X and thinking it was the 8th frame.
He was looking out of that bad eye.
50% chance of that.
He hit up on that a lot harder on that. He was going to make sure that ball was turning the corner.
Yeah, he didn't get cheated on that one.
Nope.
So Brad fills 20, it's 193. JJ 9 spare is 192. If he strikes, he forces Brad to double.
Both these players on their 3rd show for this year. The winner will take on Andres Gomez from Davie, Florida. It'll be Andres' 2nd show this year.
Oh, that's not going to make it, is
He
it?
wrapped around that one.
It didn't
Nope,
make
it. Didn't make it for a moment there. He had a 710.
He got that farther right down lane. I didn't think he was going to peel it back as well.
All right, that forces. Oh,
Whoa.
no.
What did we say?
Oh, now 9 spare 9s
What
would be
did
enough.
we say?
9 spare 9 would be enough now. If he maxed it, he would have forced Brad to strike somewhere in the 10th frame.
You guys have seen it, but I can't imagine
It's
JJ missing
It is
10 pins.
probably the, well, I don't know. I'm probably not the guy to say, but it seems like that's been his biggest issue this year.
When you get into that, for lack of a better word, you get into that funk when you know you've been missing them. It gets in your head.
Mm-hmm. Don't go high. It didn't.
The winner.
Brad Angelo will be moving on in pursuit of his first major championship.
He's got a pretty big hill to climb right now, though. Andre Gomez, who came out of nowhere, had a great look today. Pete Weber and Brian Dennis, who has shot a 299 and a 298 in this tournament.
Not a 300, huh?
No.
Terrible.
Play him as ball rep. I didn't know his ball rep his, but
His roommate.
yeah, oh, that's right. It's Mark.
But those two are actually pretty funny. We were talking to them beforehand. We'll get to that a little bit later on. And that is the clincher.
Ball change. Looked like he might have scored up a little bit on that one as well.
So John Janowitz has had a 5th place, a 2nd place, and a 5th place.
So I didn't see Andres come down here and look to see what was going on, but I'm wondering if he is going to, and I'm sure he is, play his normal shot where he's a little bit farther left and he's swooping the whole lane.
Yeah, but we saw him on the fresh. He's got to watch out for those washouts in the 210s more than the other players because he likes to circle so much. He's got to be very careful.
All right, final score 213 to 191.
And of what I've seen of the players in qualifying, right now Brad is playing them straighter than the other players will play them, I think. He's playing a whole different line.
Sure. Defending champions out in the 5 spot here this year for the U.S. Open.
And he's going to offer Brad, not offer, he's going to make him. I don't know, maybe not. Mixed signals
Andres
here.
is going to.
Nope, looks like Andres is going to start.
Well, I think he likes that right lane better. As we talked, the left lane is the tougher one. And when he got in trouble late, it was too much hook. He even had a chance to take the 2nd spot from Pete there in the 10th frame of that position round, and the ball just insta-hooked on him. So he's trying to control that down lane motion.
And
There is a definite hang spot on the left lane. Now, that could be the way the guys broke them down in their practice over here, but there is definitely, if you get to the right, and they're not even getting it that far to the right, and it just wiggles down lane.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of that practice. I don't know if you did, Tom. Was there much urethane going down lane?
I didn't see any urethane going down the lane.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, he's on the board. 8 spare, starting out for Andre.
Andres led at the end of the first day of the Villages in qualifying. From Columbia originally. Brad, upstate New York. Well, he has had some big breaks so far.
Yeah, and he's taken obviously a way more direct shot at the pocket, not giving it away. I think he's trying to make sure that he doesn't overloop it and hit that OB, because Brad can hook it as much as anybody on the show. Most of the equipment that they're throwing is anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 on it.
Yeah, the darker one that Brad's throwing now, that's the Ion Pro.
Yeah,
but he's got the blue one out there, which is the new,
that's the new Ion Pro Solid.
Yeah, solid.
And there's a lot of guys throwing that.
Quite a few. That one seems a little bit cleaner from what I've noticed. Let's see if Brad goes to that. Now he's got a different ball. He's using it for the left lane.
Well, he was using that Lightning Blackout.
That looks good.
That was 12-7. He's keeping it tighter.
That one got much farther down the lane before it picked up and took off left.
Andres, 3 titles, back-to-back, the Carmen Salvino Classic and an extra frame title in 2015. Has a regional title. Very active in the game in sales and owner of AG Supplies. So very, very involved in the sport.
That's that other iron there. That's the solid version that Andres is throwing.
Saw a lot of that ball in this tournament.
Yeah, I think they just started using them this tournament, too. I think they came this week, and a lot of the guys had that out there. It looks really clean going down the lane.
Pete has used that ball. A bunch of guys have. Tom Hess used it. I think Tom Doherty probably.
Brian Dennis, the tournament leader, is using it.
Yeah.
Too far right down lane. I mean, we keep saying it, and we keep getting the same results. You can't strike.
Well, the difference is that Janowitz kind of went the wider route. Didn't work for him. Brad's been straighter, and so far the old expression of straighter is greater is working out.
Well, the only time that Janowitz really did throw a great strike on that left lane was when he really banged on it at the bottom, hit up on it a little bit. He was bound determined he's going to make that ball turn the corner. Piece of cake.
Up next, Pete Weber, and then the number 1 seed, Brian Dennis.
Maybe an attention star now for Brad on the right lane. Can't get a real good look at that from here. Definitely got some surface on it.
Definitely has some surface on it. It almost looks gray.
Yes. Oh, wow. And that's those lively pins.
A pocket 7-pin. Oh, my God. You see that 4-pin?
Yes, I did. That's what I mean. And you talked about it already. how crazy these pins fly here.
But it did a twirl and still missed the 7-pin.
That's that shivering 7-pin there.
My goodness.
I don't think that's a attention star on the right lane.
Yeah, I don't think it is either after a second look, but
I still think it's that lightning blackout.
No, it's got some, like, 2 colors in it.
Well, since he's sanded it, it is black and gray dust.
Hammered right at it.
Got the left lane figured out.
That 12-7, I think straighter is greater, as you mentioned earlier, is the way to go on that left lane.
Brad going back to the bag, having a chat with Mitch Beasley. Try to figure something out for that right lane.
Let's see what he can. Yeah, he didn't take a ball out.
No, he's taking some tape out.
Yeah, Mitch, double duty here.
That ball just peels off on the right lane much better than the left.
We are even through 4.
I said lightning blackout. How about physics blackout?
There you go.
That's where I go.
Lightning blackout happened around 5 o'clock outside.
Yeah, there's no kidding.
That looks a little tighter, huh?
Yeah, he didn't get as far right, but it looked a little slower, too. And he's trying to get the ball to turn the corner, but I don't think he's overly happy with that because that really wasn't a flush driving through the pocket. It was a kind of a half-pocket shot there.
That was almost a mile an hour slower than what he threw on the right lane. Almost.
I thought he might take a few boards to the right and try to tighten that up, but he chose to go the other way.
So Angelo to try to stay even. Second match here. This is BowlTV live coverage of the PBA50 Senior U.S. Open.
Oh,
woof.
That.
Well, they got 7 out.
Well,
leave it to you to always be the optimist.
You're looking at the bright side.
Doesn't he always?
He just got ripped off. Mm-hmm. That was a great shot.
Agreed.
So Andres with that double takes a little lead.
Yeah, Brad living in the pocket through 5, but Dutch 200 pace.
I've seen several of those for Brad. As we went through match play today, he slammed the pocket and it'd be a solid 7-pin or a 10-pin just out of nowhere, and you'd have thought it should have struck.
Struck that time.
Well, I don't think Brad is really wanting a Dutch 200, so he's going to have to figure out the right lane.
Well, the good news is he will get to finish the 10th frame on that left lane, and it might come down to that. the way this game's shaking up.
I would argue that he had figured out the right lane based on that last shot. He just got a terrible break.
I feel fairly confident that Andres is going to strike on the right lane, but I don't know if his move was the right thing on the left lane.
Okay. Yeah, he was into that shot. He likes to pose him up, and he was definitely into that.
20-pin lead now for Andres Gomez.
This is a big shot here if he can if he actually figures out that left lane, because I'm not going to say that that last left lane shot was luck, but it wasn't as pure as I thought he was looking for.
Well, and if he strikes here, he puts a lot more pressure on Brad.
All right, let's see how he shapes this one. Oh, yes. That was his best shot, maybe of the match.
He put a little more go-go juice into that one.
Yeah.
He hit that a little harder at the bottom of the swing.
And that's the adjustment you were kind of looking for.
Yeah. And it's the same adjustment that JJ made to strike on that night. I think now he's got his confidence, and he feels really easy on that right lane.
Well, Brad pacing 200. Andres is already in the 220s.
But Brad won't be going away anytime soon.
He stared that one through the back of the building. There's no doubt.
Yeah. So never mind about the Dutch 200. He has owned this left lane in this game. Just a tick.
Yeah, that was instead of getting it out to, he was getting it out to 7, 6, 7. That was definitely a little more 8, almost 9-ish down lane.
Yeah, but what do we see so often, Tom? You focus so much on one lane and you kind of lose focus on the other. Yeah, I got that lane. I'm good over there, right?
Yeah. And you could tell he took a little extra time getting on the approach on that left lane before he made that shot. So things are clicking, going through his mind about the adjustment.
Well, Brad is always thinking. We know that out there on the approach.
He's a very intense player, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, that's what makes these guys good. Let me look at Pete Weber, how intense he is. But I mean, the last thing you want to do against Pete is make him mad, because that just makes him better.
Yeah, it motivates him. Yeah. Brad Angelo, max score 229.
Yeah. Andres at 270.
He had a 280 today that kind of turned his day around. He was sort of around 9th, 10th, 11th in that area, and then that 280, he jumped a lot of guys in that 280, and he gets a big
There's
break.
a huge break right there.
And Brad just looked straight down into his lap after watching that shot.
He's just shaking his head like,
I leave 4s and 7s and 10s, and there's
I'm hitting the pocket. He comes in high and breaks it up. That was like 22 at the arrows.
Well,
And it
remember,
went right through the nose.
in the previous game, the 210 that Brad got double messengers on. So,
You know, this is such a goofy game. When it's your day, everything seems to fall.
agreed.
And when it's not, you can slam the hole, and you just can't make it. You can't make it work.
He's got, no, see?
I thought that pin was going to bounce out of the back.
There was a pin flopping around.
You see that?
There. Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah.
Well, there goes the 270. That looked like a darn good shot.
It was. He just,
He's pacing 239 now with Brad Angelo's max 229.
All right.
Oh, he looked down at his foot. I think he thought he was a little close to the foul line there.
So Brad cannot shut Gomez out.
But he can make him do some work in this 10th frame.
Well,
Yeah, you definitely can make him show up.
Yeah, that's the goal at this point. Clean game here. Again.
You know what's going through his mind right now? Angelo.
He just heard him say, "How dare I?"
Yeah, how dare he throw a good shot. Yeah.
Andrews, he just carried that strike.
Yeah. Yep.
And he hits basically the same way and doesn't get the break.
That's a tough one to take. He's had a couple of those 4 pins in this game.
Yeah. It's got to get in your head. And I don't think Brad watches the other players. He kind of looks down.
He saw that 4-7-10 trip.
Ooh.
He's just frustrated now going through the motion.
Yeah, he's fast tracking now.
Yep, just get me off of here because there's no chance.
He made some really good shots that game and really never got rewarded. But sometimes that's bowling.
It is, and there's no explanation for it either. And we can sit back here and analyze and critique all day long, but when you put it in the pocket and it looks flush and they don't fall, something happened.
Well, Brad's still having a great year. He makes a lot of shows. I think between him and Tom Hess, they've made the most shows on this tour the last 3 years.
Yeah, Brad, this is his third show already. He'll have...
and we're not that deep into the season yet.
No, he was a runner-up, first place, and now 4th place, as Andres Gomez has clinched the victory here.
And he took a week off, so that's 4 events, a first, a 4th, so.
And he was close at Bud Moore.
Right.
At the PBA 50 Players Championship, so...
Brad Angelo is always going to be close. He's got that game. He's got the knowledge. He knows how to obviously make the right adjustments. He figures it out.
Well, pair of 203 that game, starting at 213. 203 for Brad. Andres Gomez gets a little victory lap. He's grabbing the same ball, maybe move his feet, see what happens. And he gets he got a tough one coming up next in the
this is going to be interesting.
PDW.
Yeah.
Because, well, let's talk about it. The shaping is a little similar or not between Pete and Andres.
The shape's going to be pretty much the same, I think. As far as the ball motion.
Yeah, that's what I'm, yeah.
Yeah, I think the ball motion is going to be right on top of each other. It's just going to be a matter of who carries.
Well, and you look at, everybody says, hey, I throw it like Pete. Andres is probably the closest one out here that throws it similar to Pete. Open-handed, follow through, can get in and slow roll it. Pete's going to be a little bit slower, maybe a little bit farther left. We'll have to wait and see what Pete decides to do.
Well, the interesting thing, and I said it the other day to one of the ball reps, right now with Andres, Pete, and we got a new guy coming up, Brian Dennis, I think I told you,
the hands,
Dave, that I wish I could have a still of their hand at the point of release, because I think all 3 of them are pretty close on where their hands on the side of the ball at the point of release. The big thing about Pete, and we've seen it, I wish we could get it on camera, that cut on his ring finger or middle finger is rather huge.
Yeah, that's not one that heals after just like an hour's rest. That's a week or 2.
Well, he will not be bowling in Hammond, but he will be coming to Columbus for the PBA 60 World Series. So he does have some time to chill a little bit and get some of that.
Little Neosporin.
Does he bring the glove back? Yeah. It's been a year.
I don't know. If he likes the way the ball's coming off his hand, he's not going to bring it back. Pete has asked Andres Gomez to start.
Andres, he's figured out that left lane, and that was the trick in the beginning of this telecast, is who's going to strike the most on the left lane has a chance to win this tournament.
Well, and he's in his comfort zone now. This is vintage Andres where he's at now, where he's playing a lane, where he's standing. This is where he wants to be.
Yep, that's exactly right. That's how he got to this position as the number 3 overall seed. All right, and by the way, and I've talked about
this
a lot.
You think this is a crowd favorite?
We know. It can be sometimes, Tom, more entertaining to watch Pete than the ball. Because you talk about guys going to let you know, he's a bad poker player.
Yeah.
John Murkowski is a great poker player. Pete's a bad poker player. We know what's going to happen based on the way he's looking at the ball. So I get a huge kick out of watching him as much as I do the ball going through the pins. And you notice
that hooked
yeah.
as soon as it hit the lane. He's going to, with what he's doing, he's got to get farther left on the lane to create more angle through the front part of the lane, which is going to help him with skid.
And he doesn't very often throw 2 different balls, correct?
No.
Yeah.
And he may not again. Take a shot at this. We've seen it made once this week. Tom Hess made it earlier. Well, actually, Tom made the 6-7, not the 6-7-10. So Pete, we'll see what the strategy is when he gets back up. But yeah, we'll see. Gomez may be in a really comfortable position right now.
Well, it looks like, and it might not be his, but to us, it kind of looks like he's getting to play his A game.
Oh yeah, this is the way he wants to bowl, 100%. Yeah. If he gets to do this for this game, and if he gets through to the next game, he'll be the winner. Unless Brian Dennis does one of those 299, 298s that you talked about. This is a guy doing what he likes to do.
Look at that wrist action at the bottom. He's through it and gets around it, uncoils it. And the thing about Andres, his hand, he's got a soft hand at the bottom. It's not like he's banging on it. It's just what we call a soft hand. He just floats it off his hand. Oh, my God.
Got to go a long ways.
And that Messenger falling short of the 10, so Andres now with his first
got that
trouble shot.
Probably out to 2, where that is absolutely no man's land out there.
Yeah, and that was 17.5 miles an hour. That was 2 miles an hour faster than those other 2 shots. So not only far right, he gassed it.
I was amazed it got to the head pin.
That, I would have to say, was totally uncharacteristic.
Yeah, so is that.
And he never hit either one of those pins, and that was on a double. He lost count.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. Now, can Weber take advantage?
Yeah, 2's 4 there.
Pete struck on this lane and then did not make a good shot at all on the left-hand lane and paid the price. Look out.
Uh-oh.
No, that's going to wiggle but not go down.
He's grabbing that finger.
You mentioned to me, you were talking to him earlier about he has to really be careful how he positions that finger in the bowling ball.
That's what he was telling me, and take it from somebody that's bowled when they're hurt. When you're going through your swing and you get a sharp pain, I don't care where it's at, you're going to flinch at the bottom of the swing. And
there's really nothing that can be done here, right, guys? He can't put anything on it.
No, the only thing he could have probably done, I guess, is kind of what Craig said. If he'd have put a glove on and put a bigger grip in and maybe, because he's got a rubber grip in the ball with a lift. It's a lift grip. So it actually catches your finger a little more, and it's pulling that skin apart as he's releasing the ball. So it's just tearing it more and more every time he throws it.
Ball change.
Ball change.
Oh,
are you kidding me?
No way.
A Messenger in front of the 8.
That was a pretty shot.
He posted that. He knew it was there. That went unbelievable.
That'll make your finger hurt a little bit more.
What?
Strikes are a good anesthetic.
Yeah, one more shot like that, and we could see the temper rise.
Well,
and then he might start striking a lot.
I don't blame him for being a little frustrated there. So he didn't completely make Gomez pay a heavy price for that bizarre third frame.
Yeah, that was just totally uncharacteristic. Andre's got back in the saddle.
Is that more than normal speed there, Craig, for Andres?
He threw at 15-2.
Yeah, that was back to where he was 15-2.
All right.
During qualifying, when the lanes got really ugly on the burn, and he was looping the whole lane, he actually had it down to like 14-2, 13-9. He was covering a lot of boards. He has really steepened his angle through the front part of the lane to get that ball down the lane.
But he slowed that one down a lot. That was 3 mile an hour slower than h's last shot out of that left lane. Watch the shot one more time. Look how this comes off the spot. A little tighter, though. Didn't quite get it out as far. Well, I mean, didn't lose it right.
No, I was going to say the one that was the big mistake was way off.
Pete going with the origin on the right lane as well. Okay.
A couple of words for the pins that we can't see.
Something a little different about Pete's follow-through on that one. Right there, what didn't you see?
Didn't see the open hand.
Exactly. He caught that one a little more. Oh.
No, he liked it. He liked it.
He steepened it up a little bit. It looked like he got a little farther left, a little more angle through the front. Now he's just got to grit his teeth and work through the pain.
Well, that's all they can do. Just suck it up. There's,
Well, you can.
It's going to hurt. You know it's going to hurt.
Way back when, before we had all the technology, and Craig, I'm sure you went through it. Thumbs tore up, hands tore up. You had blisters. You're bleeding, like new skin everywhere.
Well, the bowling centers used to have the vending machines that had new skin in the vending machines, right? They'd have the little wrist things, the rosin bags, all that stuff.
We got some Gomez fans in the building, rooting them on.
Well, it makes you wonder what happened in the third frame, because his other shots have been beautiful.
Either he got a little quick, or he definitely missed it at the bottom because that ball just sailed to the right.
Yeah, but the last 3 shots, speed-wise, 15-2-4, 15-2-8, 15-2-6. That's pretty close. Oh, he grabbed that one.
And I was waiting for that 9-pin to go.
He got all of that one.
He actually, he seen the lofty hit up on it a little bit. And that was another thing that a lot of the guys did this week. But when the lanes, because we had the fresh, the burn, the double burn, to get the ball down the lane, to get it to shape the right way, a lot of guys went to loft, getting it out on the lane quite a ways. Take a look at Doherty.
I don't think he meant to there.
You don't think so?
No, not on that shot.
Or you think he got a little more than he wanted to?
Oh, no. The second time he has had an opportunity to take some pins extra, and he's missed it. He missed a 2-4-10 completely earlier, and then a single pin just went right by the board, and now
just missed a 9-pin to the right.
Yep.
Well, but he threw plastic. We talked about the OB. He threw his plastic at it, and it never picked up at all.
Goodness me.
Ooh.
Somebody go make some sense of this game all of a sudden now. I'm not sure, you want to give Pete gifts.
Well, I'm sure this is the last guy you want to give gifts to.
And he doesn't take it, and he gives it right back. His second serious split of the match.
This is like, I don't want it. You can have it.
Bizarre, bizarre, bizarre. 228 is going to be Andres' max.
I mean, this is makeable if Pete picks it up.
He had the 6-7-10 earlier.
Oh.
And he did this. He picked off one that time. He picks off one this time. So a great opportunity for Pete. Went by the boards. He's got to recover quickly. He's down 20.
Put his max now at 208.
208.
Andres up 20.
Unbelievable. I don't think any of us expected that out of Pete. When
not twice.
Yeah.
Not a 6-7-10 and then a 4-7-10. No. And especially when given this opportunity that Gomez may end up getting away with.
Yeah. Pete like 20-21 at the arrows out to 8. The shot is in his wheelhouse. It's just how much is that finger affecting his release?
Only he knows. Yeah.
Well, that was inside a target.
Oh, no. Look at this mess. Look at this word salad he has here.
Are we bowling on the double burn? Because they are transitioning something fierce right now.
4,
yes, they are.
7, 9. Now,
these lanes are changing as we're sitting here. They don't even have to throw a ball.
I have to believe he's going to pick up something here.
Well, he never got it right of the marker down lane. That's where he's been throwing it. It was actually, I think, a board left of it. Whew. He's got to hit something.
He did. Got a couple. Well, if somebody would like to explain all this to me, I would love to hear it. 147, now 207 is his max.
There's
so many possibilities now.
Well, just think back to that first split where he got 0 on the count.
And then flagging at 9-pin.
Just flagging the 9-pin. That puts him 11 pins. That puts him at 158.
Yep. You're taking a re-rack here as Gomez. And not a bad idea. Take a little mental break, even for just a few extra seconds to kind of get your brain screwed back and try to get back here to throw a strike, because Pete can beat him in the 9th and 10th frames now.
Oh, that
gotta go. No.
How'd that make it back?
He got it almost to that same spot in the out of bounds where he left the split. I think he's pressing like crazy right now.
But the problem that Pete just has the one double. Andres looking for his first spare of the match. Got it.
Yeah.
There you go. Well,
you can still have some fun with yourself, I guess. There's a plus there.
If you can't laugh at yourself in those times.
The best he can shoot is 197.
197. Pete can finish this off right now. And good luck trying to predict what's going to happen from here on in, because there's no way we can.
You just can't get slow. Don't get slow.
Makeable.
Yeah, I think you got it. This is double burn. What in the heck is going on up there?
This is literally. It looks like we're bowling on the double burn.
Yeah.
Are you sure they re-oiled?
We're positive. I mean, this is makeable. 310 is makeable.
He can do this, but
you still shoot 188. Andres pacing 187, so it's still a close one. But
if he doesn't make this, it's going to get really weird in here. Oh, that's a big shot.
That was huge.
That was huge. And he does it the textbook way.
.188.
Can he string 3 together?
It's got to go. It's got to go.
Nope. He got the split kicked out. And conditions here, this is turning into Boulding's version of Oakmont.
He only threw that 13-7.
Yeah, that was way slow.
So 176 now, his max.
Which still forces, if he can strike on the
fill.
fill.
Oh, wow. That wasn't textbook.
No.
If he strikes on the fill, still forces Andres to get a mark. And we've seen there's no guarantees there.
Well, not now.
All guarantees are out the door. .176 for Pete Weber.
Remember, last shot for Gomez in the slam was at 4.79.
He threw that a half mile faster. He threw it at 14.2.
Yeah, much better shot.
So Andres Gomez trying to move into the championship match against Brian Dennis.
And what's Brian Dennis thinking watching this?
Is he watching this?
I hope not, for his sake.
He should just walk up. So how's it going, guys?
Yeah.
Everything okay?
Yeah, anything interesting happen?
Anything I need to know?
Can I get anybody a drink?
Everything's just fine, Brian. Just fine. Good luck. Can I see the scores? No, you don't need to see the scores.
And he marks a winner.
Okay. Took the 4-pin. And Andres Gomez is going to move on into the championship match in his first U.S. Senior Open. One of the most bizarre matches.
I don't think anybody could have even scripted this
No.
to make it the way it turned out.
Andres grabbing a different ball here just to see. He does not get any practice shots. Between games, Brian Dennis will get, 8?
Yeah, he's going to have 8 shots. And he didn't use all of his practice time when he came over here the first time. So
I bet he is now.
Yeah, we've seen it. Remember, we see it in the past when some players didn't do that. And it
didn't work out so well.
No, it didn't work out so well. So, yeah, take all 8 shots now. I mean, Brian, he made the World Champion show last year, I believe, at the World Series of Bowling?
Yes.
So
did he make one of the pattern shows? Or did he make the top 5?
And the bad thing, I thought this pair was going to be high scoring.
Yeah, at the top of the show. That is
and I honestly did.
Yeah, I heard you say that, and I didn't chime in because we've been watching all week, and it's been a little tricky, and it's proven that way right now.
Well, after talking to Zach about how the leagues are structured here and what lanes they use and stuff, and everything basically stops at 18, I thought this pair might hold up a little bit better on the fresh for the show.
I was there.
You didn't tell me. I wasn't invited.
Secret.
He never tells us anything.
I know. It's frustrating. I like going to these things. I don't always like sitting at home. Here we go for the title.
Oh.
Time to be surprised Brian's going to finish on that left lane. That seems to be the tricky one today, doesn't it?
I would say at this point, guys, I don't know if there is a non-tricky lane. Although, as we talked about earlier, the left has been a little bit meaner. Yeah.
That was, oh my God, left off his hand.
That was left of left. That's a good 9 right there.
His hand was completely around that.
That shot last week at Samson would have been a left gutter.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fortunate to get 9 there.
Yeah, agreed. That was a touch yanked.
He's probably going, what the heck did I just do?
He was left there, too. And, well, he just said something funny to Mark.
He said something to Mark.
And that might be a way to release a little of the pressure that could have built up. Brian has not been in this. He's been in tough situations, but this is a unique kind of thing. Tournament started at 6:30 Mountain Time. It's now 7:50 Mountain Time. He had to wait an hour and 20 minutes to throw a ball that mattered.
Well, and also sit there and think about what he's going to bowl for, too. Not just the throwing the
There
ball.
You go.
He can throw the ball all day long, but it's thinking about, hey, I can get a banner.
I would ask him after the show, did he need to take a piece of tape out of that ball? I found out by talking to him, in the 40 years he's bowled, he's never used one piece of tape in a ball. And he had to put tape in a ball this week, and he didn't know what to do with it.
No, Mark had to help him. And then he said something like, Mark said, well, how much do you want? He goes, oh, whatever. It's like there's a measurement called whatever.
It's kind of funny. That was a great shot by Andres there. But he looks like he's getting a little bit slower. Could be just my angle.
I think he's creeping left and just circling just a little more.
Brian Dennis uses the same drill bit, a 63/64s, for all 3 holes because he's too lazy to change the drill bit.
Yes, apparently that can't be done. So, we learned a lot.
Now, the grip sizes are 31/32, folks. And he uses 63/64s because that's what he uses for his thumb.
That would not fly in the Norm Duke household
at
all.
Oh, that was
nope, not going to happen.
He tried to jump that one out. It didn't work. Then he says, after I drove my thumb, you heard this.
Yes, I did.
I just whittle on it a little.
Yeah. So we have a new term.
So I don't know how much whittling it takes, but.
I just thought whittling was what people did on a porch front someplace, make something for a carving.
Oh, no.
Not again.
You saw it instantly, Tom.
Dude.
Is somebody's nerves or
both of them? I mean,
we're in check right now. Oh my gosh!
Brian's 9-pin. Brian's first shot was, I think he would admit it, bad. Then he wasn't close on that 10-pin. Andres at least should be more settled in. He wasn't close on that 10-pin.
Unbelievable!
This is just weird.
We're seeing some things here, folks, that you would never, I don't think, ever see on the show.
No, I've seen that on shows.
Well, that's the easiest way to make a spare. Don't leave
one.
Yeah.
How many singles have we seen missed now? Janowitz had one.
Andres had one last. That's 4.
Andres had 1, 4. I think there's 4 missed singles.
Next time Andres leaves a spare, I'm just going to run up and hit the reset for him.
Yeah, he might race you to it.
Wow.
I've never seen him miss that many spares in a week, let alone in one telecast. That's got to hurry.
It did.
Oh. So what's the big difference here, Craig?
Between
the release. I mean, what I see Andre's getting the ball down the lane, onto the lane quicker.
Oh,
and
yeah, Brian with a little bit of loft. Touch
Brian's
loft.
using a little bit
Just
more
a
loft.
touch.
Oh, and he had a messenger. It missed.
Yeah, it just dropped
It
off into
dropped
the pit.
off the back.
And he's got another single to shoot at.
Got a phone a friend message that makes a good point here. Andres, hasn't bowled a ton late in the event. And, Tom, what is it that affects Spares the most? His legs get tired. Could he be dealing with a little fatigue? That's a great point.
Well, I can understand why he would be, why anybody would be.
Your legs are the first thing to go. It's not your arms.
Right.
Especially in the long format like we had this last couple of weeks. But, right now bowling for a U.S. Open title, that could also be grip pressure being.
Oh, yeah, it's another multiplier. 2 plus 2 is missed 10 pins so far.
Oh my Lord!
What do you see? Did you see what his leg when he almost spun out of that shot?
Yeah,
let's replay that and look at his at the slide. Watch this.
Yeah, he turned. He opened his hips up, and that slide so much he had no choice but to throw it to the right.
Interesting.
You brought up a good point. His legs could be getting tired. He hasn't bowled that much in his spare again, is it? Oh, got it.
Yeah, he did make the show in Fort Myers. Had a pretty decent run at the Villages. Ultimately, I don't think he made it into the brackets. So that is a possibility. He's not going to be in Hammond. He's heading home, and we'll see him again at the World Series. So he's taking a few weeks off, which he's kind of happy about. Uh-oh. Oh, he got that. All right.
Going to use both pockets, apparently.
There are two of them, right?
Brian is aware.
The last thing that Andres wanted to see was a yanked shot. That never went right at all. It was left off his hand. Luckily, he hit the head pin, and he ends up with a strike. I mean, it doesn't say how you got it up there on the board, granted. We know that.
He's fraud. If I remember, that first 10 pin was Brooklyn as well.
Oh, it was.
It was way.
Yeah, that was massively left. That was more left than that. And, well, maybe he should hit the Brooklyn pocket more often.
He made sure that one wasn't going left, unfortunately.
No. He forced that one right. Well, when you got 5 frames to go, you're bowling for a U.S. Open title. For both of them, the first one to get it will win a U.S. Open. You know that grip pressure has got to be.
Footwork issue again.
And maybe we got an issue with the approach.
Andres was quite a bit farther left, but yeah, still, I mean, he just got up on his toes potentially, Tom. Is that maybe why he's stuck? But got away with one there.
The approaches here were fantastic, even when you got way left, even on the splice, because some of us had to finish on the splice and on the burn, and you could still slide. There was never really a tacky spot on the approaches.
Yeah, it was. It didn't affect him on his first shot.
.256, 245. Max scores. Brian Dennis with advantage, and even bigger advantage now.
Yep.
Well, the heart gets to race a little bit. And
he moved more left with his body that time?
He needs to.
He did, it looked like to me.
But the big thing is he's done it a couple times. He's pushed it too far to the right.
Mm-hmm.
And the ball doesn't recover. So even though he's creating a steeper angle, he knows he still can't get it too far right. Otherwise, this is a 2-8-10. Hey, he's throwing those spare shots and looking at them like, did I get this?
Can you blame him?
There was nobody in the building breathing on that shot.
He's in a championship match for a major title on the PBA50 tour, and he's missed 2 single pins today. And had another split that he missed everything on.
And unfortunately, he doesn't look extremely confident shooting the spare.
And down 23 now with 4 frames to go.
That will work. No, it
Well,
won't.
he went way left on that. He crossed like 24 at the Euros.
Yeah, he was around 16, 17 in the first game, so he's creeping left.
Yeah, he's down to 14-7 now. There you go. That's the Andres I'm used to seeing. Just walk up nice and easy and pick up the spare.
Drops his max score to 222. Brian Dennis pacing 216, max of 256.
Boy, I just don't know if anybody's going to be able to go off the sheet in this game. Somebody has a chance.
Brian said challenge accepted.
Yep.
They're both playing the same part of the lane. It's just a matter of who executes the best. Brian's footwork, you watch it even in slow motion, it's boom, boom, boom. It is really quick.
6 steps from the dots, or from the second set of dots up there. Those are tiny.
Those are
Quick
tiny
and
steps.
tiny. Not quite Fred Flintstone, but he's close. I mean, it's
close.
Yeah.
You just don't hear the little bell ringing.
And Fred's bowling ball was not even perfectly round. He still got it down there.
Well, apparently Brian's isn't either. From the way you say he works out the thumb hole and just puts 3 holes and go.
We're going to get a break? No.
Nope.
We're going to have to shoot at that. If he throws the same shot he threw at the 10 pin in the first frame, he'll make the 9.
You think he's thinking about that?
No. Oh, this by missing the 10?
Yeah.
I hope not. I would think with his experience he shouldn't be. He should have moved on.
That was
I know.
That was questionable.
That was a pull.
It's a situation. I understand. It's a situation.
Couple strikes here is massive for Andres, obviously. Max scores 236 to 222.
That missed spare in the third for Andres, I think, really messed with his head.
Hasn't thrown a strike since that second frame.
Great shot right there.
Yeah, he's working on getting back in the game. And you know there's a couple frames there that things were just going wacko in his head. That was like 24, back out to 8. And I mean, he's in his comfort zone. It's just he's got to be aggressive.
I just remember us saying after the first 2 shots of this game, he looks comfortable, he could be locked in, and all of that, and it hasn't.
That hasn't come to pass, has it?
Thank you. It didn't. Yeah, it didn't follow through.
That changed real fast after that spare attempt in the third frame.
Yeah, I think that changed his whole rhythm.
Dennis with the 14-pin advantage in the max scores.
Oh, my Lord.
So
that was...
May have a new nickname, the Claw, because
that went from there.
He got every bit of that one, didn't he?
I think he crossed every board in the building on it.
There's a couple left.
So judging by your initial reaction, Tom, you didn't think that was going to strike, did you?
No, his angle was so steep. I'm going, oh my God.
Oh, my gosh. Don't go through the nose. All right.
No, our viewers at home couldn't see it, but Andres can hear Tom, and Andres says, "Tom, it's okay. It's okay."
Thanks to the folks in the chat, we have our top 5 for the PWBA U.S. Open tomorrow. Snodgrass, Rousseau, Crystal Carey, and Weefen New. Thank you, Larry, for that.
And now that changes the max scores. Now it's down to 3, 225, 222.
It's a whole new ball game.
Oh, that's Verity. I'm sorry. That looks like Verity. That was Craw, meaning for Verity Crawley. So
That show's live tomorrow on CBS Sports.
yeah, hold on here.
Oh, that's in. That's in.
That's a Brooklyn 5-pin.
5-pin.
All right,
That was farther left in the first shot of the game.
Let's get this straightened out once and for all with full names. Lauren Russo, Crystal Elliott, Jordan Snodgrass, Weefen New, and Marissa Carey. There.
There you go.
All these shortened names threw me off. So now we got it straight. That's tomorrow. Meantime, we're coming down to the 10th frame here in 2025 PBA50.
He handed it back to
Yes, he did.
Andres. Oh, my.
What were you worried about? You okay, Tom?
Yeah.
Need some oxygen over there?
Clear. Just like, okay.
All right, 214 for Dennis. Andres can put the hammerlock on this.
Well, yeah, and he's still going to force Andres to double.
Oh yes, and I'm the guy who said I can't see anybody going off the sheet here to win the match, but it could happen.
All right, good shot. Finished it off. Got to wait. Had ball in hand. He has to sit and watch.
Well, he projected that one then. Obviously, that first shot he didn't at all. Max score 222 for Andres Gomez.
Yeah, Andres struck twice on this lane out of 4 shots.
He's got to have this one. There's one.
And there, beautiful shot by Andres Gomez. One more. And he'll never forget his first PBA50 Senior U.S. Open. He'll take a re-rack.
That was about as pure as you can actually deliver the ball. He knew it was there.
That may be even a little too far left going off the pin deck. Straight continues the winner.
It looks good. It looks good.
He's walking it out, and he's your champion.
Andres Gomez running it out. What a shot that was.
His first title on the PBA 50 Tour will be a major championship, just like Tom Doherty last week. I've known Andres for a while, Tom. I have not seen that kind of emotion out of him
ever. If he hadn't have got that shot, you know how much that third frame would haunt him for the rest of his life.
That is lost sleep right there.
Down the middle. It don't make any
There it
difference
is.
at this point.
And there's your winner.
What a show he just put on.
What a match. Good gracious.
He's going to be a little emotional on this one.